Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I noticed in my last Untangled that there was an echo in my microphone. Just something I noticed. Anyway, how is the sound and how are all of you? Hello, Wes. It's so good to see you, my friend. I don't think I saw you on Patreon the last couple of times. It's really good to have you here. Hi, Taz and Patrick and Jojo and Eric. Good to see you. Sound is good. Yay. Hi, Kelly and Kayla and Sarah. Hi, Richard and Caitlin, Anna, Astrid, Megan, Savannah, Kristen. So good to be here with you guys. Samantha, hello from Carson City, Nevada. Really happy to be here. My ears are ringing. My body is vibrating at a very high speed, and I'm really excited to share whatever's coming through today. Hello, Tel Aviv. Really good to have you. Being illuminated. Hello from Florida. Creating with Angela Rush. Hello, my friend. Tarot and totem readings. Witchy kind of woman. I love that. It's good to be here with you guys. Welcome to another episode of Untangled. We are on episode 35. I've been doing this for almost 8 months. And yeah, this episode, I usually don't know the title of the episode, but this episode is going to be about becoming more of our energetic human, right? Kind of like what we've been doing and what we're consciously and unconsciously been practicing for some of us a couple of months, some of us a couple of years, some of us our entire life. But before I do that, a couple of announcements. What announcements do I have? I'm going live on Facebook tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'll send where am I going to send the link? Tomorrow, the 25th at 8 a.m., I'm going to be talking with Paul from Positive Life Dublin about the live event that we're doing on March 16th. If you're in the Ireland area and you can join me live in Dublin on March 16th, I would love to meet you. I'll leave the link down below after I post this, after I do this live, how you can join us live on Facebook tomorrow. Let's see, what other notifications do I have? I still have tickets for Germany. If you are in the area of Hamburg, Germany, or somewhere around there, I am doing a live event on March 25th. And all the details are down below in the description. And I have added a last event, a 7th event in the Europe tour for Sweden. And I can't remember the name of the city. It's not Stockholm, it's another city. And the details will be out most likely by the beginning of next week. And that's going to be March 27th. So there are tickets left for Ireland, March 16th. There's tickets left for Germany, March 25th. And there's Hamburg, Germany. And there's tickets that will be available for a city in Sweden. I don't know the name yet. And all of that will be down below. Also, one more announcement. There is a Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles, California, February 10th to the 12th. And I will be speaking at it on Sunday, February 12th. I'll also be signing books on Saturday, February 10th. No, 9th. Shoot, whatever. The Saturday. I'll be signing books on Saturday and I'll be speaking on Sunday. And I'll leave the details down below. Or maybe Mike, if you're here listening, you can add the details to the Conscious Life Expo down below in the description. Or you can just go to the Conscious Life Expo website and get a ticket, or just come and find me. I'll be walking around throughout the weekend and I would love to meet you. So if you're in the area, it's going to be in LA, Conscious Life Expo. Lots of cool people are going to be there, hundreds of presenters. February 10th to the 12th. I speak on the 12th and I'm signing books, I guess, on the 11th. Okay, that's all the announcements. Am I planning on coming to Canada? I don't know, maybe. Yay, Kristen, we'll get you in. email us and we'll make sure you get a seat to London for sure, without a doubt. Just email us, you'll get in. All right. Untangled is all about making the uncomfortable comfortable, talking about this human evolution, talking about how to make what we want to ignore visible, bring it to the light. And one of the things that I've been recognizing as of late, so a lot of you know, if you've been listening to me um, for some time, especially if you've been on this Untangled series, you know that I don't shy away from the fact that uh, I definitely experience a lot of insecurity, and I experience a lot of unworthiness at times. And I don't shy away from it because I allow myself to see everything that is within me. I allow myself to see all the aspects that want to pop up, and want to take the microphone and want to really scream from the rooftops who this aspect thinks that I am, right? And so unworthiness has been coming up a lot. Insecurity has been coming up a lot. What else is new, right? And I talk about it because why not? You know, here's this thing that I've been noticing with myself and my friends lately, the last couple of days. If you try to ignore what is arising within you, and maybe you're aware of it, you're recognizing that you're feeling something, right? Or you're thinking something, but you have this belief that if you just simply are aware of it and somehow just acknowledge it, that it's going to go away, or that um, you know that it's not going to have an impact on you, but that by simply just observing, like, oh, I'm feeling insecure, that's somehow enough. And what I've been noticing the last couple of days, with myself and people around me, is that sometimes it's not just enough to observe the feeling, like, oh, I'm feeling insecure, or I'm feeling unworthy, or um, I'm feeling like I don't know which choice to make, right? And it stays within you. There is a power to expressing it. There's a power to sharing that with someone else, sharing what you're feeling with someone else. It's a deeper level of awareness, it's a deeper level of self-love, it's a deeper level of vulnerability, it's a deeper level of beingness. When you can simply express to somebody, "This is how I'm feeling," right? A girlfriend of mine the other day, we were talking about a guy that she was some sort of dating, but not really dating, and she was agitated and frustrated, and I was trying to, like, dig deeper, and she just started to, like, express to me what she was feeling, and what she was expressing was her truth, and she started bawling and really started crying and shaking, and as she was sharing to me what her truth was, which was really what she wanted to share with this man, she was like, "This is my truth. This is my truth. This is my truth." And then she just kept saying, "This is my truth." And it wasn't that she wasn't aware of her truth. She just had never expressed it. And so there was this agitation that was building up, because all she needed to do was just express this truth to herself out loud by expressing it to somebody else. And sometimes we think that we are confident and secure in what we're feeling. We're confident and secure in what we're thinking. We're confident and secure in it. But yet we don't express it out loud to somebody else, or even to ourselves, because there is still an insecurity around it, or there still is a part of us that's unsure of it, or there's a part of us that doesn't want to really fully accept it, right? So there's something extremely powerful about vulnerably and quite nakedly sharing everything, right? Even the things that, especially the things that you're ashamed of, or that you feel insecure about. So the more that I am sharing and have been sharing about my insecurity and unworthiness of being me, or whatever it is, right? The less it has any power or control over me, the more it just becomes another expression that shows itself, and it sort of waters itself down, right? And maybe it takes months, maybe it takes days, right? Maybe it takes years, probably not. because we are evolving at such a high, rapid speed. But if you continue to no longer be afraid or ashamed or hide whatever it is that's coming out, whatever needs to be shared with somebody, whatever needs to be shared with you, whatever's going on in there, let the shame be there, but don't let the shame stop you from your transformations. Right? There's so many people I think that feel insecure, but there's the shame around feeling insecure. It's like, well, the whole fucking world feels insecure. Welcome to being a human, right? We all have little tiny aspects of insecurity somewhere within us. And if we ignore it or deny it or feel ashamed because of it, like we shouldn't be, then it's just going to continue to eat at us and have some sort of role unconsciously in how we are being on the planet. So, one of the insecurities that I have is, and this ties into becoming an energetic human, which is what you're becoming, which is what I'm becoming, which what we're designed to become. Energetic humans while we remain physical, right? We're designed to live from a more energetic space. So the lens that we use is more energetic, which means more sensory, more senses, as opposed to mind, programming, density, physicality, proof. Show me first before I make a decision. It's not how we're designed to live in higher states of consciousness. It's the opposite. You will have no proof and you will be asked to make the decision by you. You will stop paying attention to what others want you to do and what the world is telling you to do, and you will have to trust yourself, which means your intuition, your knowingness, this amazing physical body that is literally guiding you into the highest versions of you, right? So one of the things that I have been noticing is a friend of mine the other day. We had we the we've had these back and forth conversations about how we be in the world. And it probably took us 10 different conversations, I'm not kidding, before the both of us finally understood how the other individual lived. Meaning how he lived and how he does his practices of beingness um, and navigates the world and feels and all of that, right? And how I do it. And I noticed the other night, I was like, wow, we're coming back to this conversation again, right? And this conversation was around me trying to express how I live my life. And then he's trying to express how he lives his life. And we're once again at this place where we're like, we really want to understand each other. You know, my yoga teacher said something that was so profound the other day, Faye, so profound. She says, it's better to understand somebody than to be understood. And I was like, "Holy fuck, wait a second." It's better to try to understand somebody than to be understood. And I thought that was so profound. Um, it truly is, in my opinion. If we can start to try to understand people, right, the world will be in a much better place. Anywho, here we are again, okay? And finally it clicks. We're finally like, "Holy shit, I get it. I see how you're living." And one of the things he said to me, because I don't have a lot of people in my life that truly see how I live, really actually see how I live day to day, like what I actually do on an energetic level and in my mind and in my thoughts and in my body. And it's not something I talk about. You know, I don't say this is how I navigate my life. I share it with you guys and I share it with my Patreon sometimes, but not in great detail. So I'm sharing with him all of this and and he's reflecting back to me, you know, his awareness of everything and sort of this in awe, like, wait a second, holy shit, I didn't realize how you're actually living. And one of the ways that I described how I lived was Imagine, and I'm describing this because what I was reflected back on, what this individual reflected to me was just how much I live energetically without realizing it. And when I realized that, when I had that awareness from somebody else, it gave me confidence, more confidence to really start to step into this more and more with you guys. Um, it gave me more confidence to start really sharing that the way that I'm living my life truly is a very powerful teaching. And I don't know about you, but we underestimate who we are. We underestimate our impact on people. You underestimate your impact on people. You underestimate who you are. You don't realize probably the impact that you are making and that you are capable of making. It's just one of these weird things that we do as the human. So the other night when he was reflecting back to me, like this like profound holy shit way of living, it gave me more confidence. And it allowed me to sit deeper into really acknowledging how I live. And what that did for me is it gave me more passion to teach how I live, um, and to teach it from a very humble state where there's just this like internal confidence of like, wait, this person's this seems very like this seems like a very insecure thought, but this person's been doing mindfulness practices for. I don't read books, you guys. I don't follow teachers. I don't follow teachings. I don't follow anything. All right. I just follow life. So I just let life show me. Like, I don't know how I started learning how to be in a flow state, except life just presented itself and then I just did what felt right next. I don't know how I started realizing that emotions no longer have control over me because I just feel everything. And once I start feeling everything, I'm free, right? Other than I just started doing it. I didn't listen to anything. So I didn't know what other teachers were talking about. I didn't know what other teachers teach, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, this friend of mine has been practicing this stuff for a very long time, 15 years. And he was like basically reflecting to me that these are some of the greatest teachers have been living this way, the way you're living, and teaching the way you show up. Long story short, it gave me confidence. It gave me confidence in how I am in this world and how we are here to be. The way I see it is not mindfulness, it's not non-duality, it's not any of that, it's energetic. Right? The way I see it is that we're here to be these energetic humans, learning how to move back into our most natural state of being. And the more that I can share with you guys how I'm doing it, which is also why I started this channel, the more all of you will realize that you're also already doing it. And that what you're doing is actually miraculous and courageous. Um, I think that there is an underlying insecurity in the human experience that makes us think that we're not doing it right, or we need to do it differently, or we need to, read up on all these books or all these, ways so that we can do it correctly, or we're not even trying to do anything, but there's this judgment that we have on ourselves, whatever it is, right? And so the reflection to you today is the reflection that my friend gave me, which is like, you are becoming the energetic human. How many of you, if we were in a room, you would raise your hand. How many of you are recognizing how much more aware you are of your thoughts, of your behaviors, of everything, of how you are interacting with people, of the ups and downs all day long? My friend was saying to me, he's like, "So let me get this straight. Like, are you trying to change your state at any point during the day?" I was like, "No, I don't even know what that means, change my state." He's like, You don't ever try to like bring yourself back into an aligned state." I was like, "No, Never. Because I know that whatever I'm in, I'm going to find myself back in that aligned whole state as long as I keep being in what I'm in. So let's say that I start to feel anger or anxiety or a little bit of stress, or I start going down some like rabbit hole in my mind with my thoughts. I know that if I just keep being in it because I'm not attached to it, that I will find myself out of it and perhaps in an aligned state. Maybe I'll be in a state where I'm more content. Maybe I'll be in a state where I'm happy or I'm laughing. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to control my states. That's a flow state. I'm not trying to get into anything, right? And so this awareness that we had together was interesting for me because it's what all of us are practicing right now. It truly is, which is, how do I simply allow myself to feel whatever it is that's arising within me and around me, okay? Without trying to control it, without trying to change it. And the first thing you need to be aware of when you start becoming more and more energetic is not only is the light going to shine on you even more, but you have to start practicing not attaching. The reason that we feel stuck, the reason that we want to change and fix everything, right, is because we are attached to it. Attachment means that there is a little I, a little Lori, that believes she is these emotions or these beliefs or these behaviors or these states that I'm experiencing. I believe I am the anxiety, the stress, the worry, the insecurity, the unworthiness, the trauma, the shadow, the relationships I'm in, the teacher, I am this, and I attach to it. And when you attach to anything that you're experiencing, it's like a boulder that you hit in the river, and then you anchor it in, you grab it, and you become it, and then it weighs you down. When you start practicing not attaching to any of it, none of it, what are you feeling right now? Okay. Don't try to change it. The reason you're trying to change it or fix it is because it doesn't feel good. Let it not feel good. Drop deeper into this doesn't feel good. Yep. Do you have tools that you can use to assist yourself through this part of the river? Sure, you have breath, nature, getting into your body, slowing down, music, dancing. I don't know. What are your tools? But you don't want to use, in my opinion, you're not trying to get out of what you're in. It's huge. If we continue to try to get out of what we're in, we're negating the energetic experience. It's like we are evolving into energetic humans, but we're resisting it the entire time. There's this opportunity to continue to move into new states of being, which basically are normal states of being that we haven't been in naturally because we've been in a programmed, dense state on this planet of control and manipulation and fear and disempowerment. Right. And so the more that we become energetic, that means the more you're moving into your body. And the more that you're moving your awareness back into your body, the more you're going to feel. And the more that you feel, the more you realize that you're safe. And the more you realize that you're safe, the more empowered you become. The more empowered you become, the more you stop trying to change anything. Right. So you want to pay attention to that. You are literally being pushed into your energetic world, your energetic experience. Okay. And it's going to feel like you don't have control. It's going to feel like you're going to want to go back to the ways of wanting to change something or fix something or get out of it. Do the opposite. Try to remind yourself, okay, I'm becoming energetic. This is the energetic human I'm stepping into. This is the evolution in human consciousness. And it's not about going to all these workshops and all these courses and reading all these books. It's simply showing up in life for life to serve you what it is that you need to experience in order to continue to evolve. So if you're constantly finding yourself being pummeled in these really intense emotional states, The key is not to change that emotional state. Changing that emotional state is you basically turning away from the energetic experience, afraid of becoming more energetic, and running back to a more programmed state of being. I'm not saying don't change your emotions or your thoughts or your beliefs. Do whatever you want to do. What I am saying is that when you start to live from this energetic place, you won't change anything. You'll be aware of it. Somebody said to me on one of the comments this morning, they said, "So are you saying that you don't need to change your thoughts?" Yeah. The only reason that we have this belief that we need to change our thoughts is because we are attached to the thought and we believe the thought. Pay attention to this. If you believe the thought, then you're going to believe that you need to change the thought. But hold this for a moment. If the thought just is, the thought arises, Lori, you're unworthy and you're insecure and you're never going to make anything of yourself and you're just wasting your time and you're going to, fall to the waste, whatever. That's a thought. Now, if I believe that thought, I am going to attach to it and then I'm going to need to change it. And I've changed it I've never done this. And I've been very, I've said this many times. I never tell myself positive thoughts to think instead, because I don't believe those either, right? So here's this thought that comes in. You're unworthy, Lori, you're insecure, you're never going to ... Now, if I believe it and I attach to it, then of course we're going to be programmed and trained to change that thought. But all that does is teaches you how to run from simply just allowing thought to be. We will always have thoughts. Always. You are always going to have thoughts, and you will always have thoughts you don't like. So are you constantly going to be fighting against life, trying to change it, which is a controlled state? Or are you going to start stepping deeper into an energetic world which just observes the thoughts, knowing you're not the thought? Think about this. If you know you're not the thought, would you change it? Or would you simply just keep going, aware of the obnoxious thought? Maybe it's a familiar obnoxious thought, but just keep going. It's like an annoying neighbor that keeps coming over and knocking on your door, Eventually, you just won't open the door. You're not going to move. That's stupid. You're not going to change where you live just because an annoying neighbor. You're just not going to open the door anymore. Oh, here comes the annoying neighbor knocking on my door. Becoming energetic is no longer running from the energetic experiences, which is all your thoughts, all your beliefs, all your behaviors, all your emotions, all your traumas, all your contracts, everything you're experiencing, the entire external world. It's all energy. And so you're learning how to be in all of this. You're learning how to trust and have faith that whatever you experience right now is going to shift. If you are someone that feels stuck, right? I feel stuck in this. There's an attachment to what you're in. That's all. If you knew that whatever you are in, if you remembered that whatever you are in is constantly moving, then you would surrender to whatever it is that you're feeling and just keep going about your day. Feeling is intense. How many of you are feeling so much right now that it's like overload? You're like, I can't, there's too much feeling. My friend that I was talking to the other day, I was like, I don't want to not feel. I was like, I want to feel so much that that there's nothing other than feeling. I want to just keep feeling. Give me more, give me more, give me more. If someone were to take away feeling, I would feel like there's no point in being in the human experience. I wanna feel it all day long, because I feel alive when I'm feeling. And sometimes the feelings are very, subtle, and sometimes the feelings are so intense, I wanna pull my hair out. But because I'm not attached to any of it, I'm not judging any of it. I'm on the ride. I'm in the rapids. I feel so safe to feel anything. There are feelings that I don't like to feel, but I feel them because I know that's what life is all about, is this feeling state. It's our superpower. The more that you can feel absolutely everything, the more empowered and sovereign you're going to be in this world, the more free you are going to be in this world, the easier it's going to be able to love yourself, the easier it will be to accept yourself, the easier it will be to accept others, the easier it will be to start making choices that are going to bring you into higher experiences on this planet, meaning more freedom, more abundance, more expansion, less fear, less stress, less anxiety. You cannot convince me that we as a human collective are not moving into beautiful states of being. You cannot convince me of that. I know we are. Can't convince me that we aren't. We absolutely are. We're moving into miraculous times. We call it miracles. We call it magic. It's just our natural state of being. Many of you are starting to find new relationships within yourself, right? And this is, for me, it's a very natural process. It's a very simple, slow, natural process. Many of you are going to start finding partners that are presenting themselves in ways that you never thought and that you never expected, and definitely not what the the movies teach us. One of the disservices that uh, you know that our culture and our world has given us is this Cinderella idea of relationships and love and partnership. That it's this, you see the person and oh my God, and there's this euphoria state, and there's a honeymoon phase and all this stuff. And on one level, sure, that's experienced by a lot of people, but the true purpose for a relationship is to open your heart, to open your own heart. So this individual comes into your life not simply for you to feel in love with them, but for them to hand you the key to your own self-love, which you already have within you. And then you grab the key and you're like, "Oh my God, wow." You unlock this deep sense of love for this person, right? Because you have allowed yourself to love yourself. So this really interesting piece around love I've been tapping into lately, which is, if you don't have a deep sense of love for yourself, or you're not at least opening to that, what happens when somebody comes in and starts to love you, or you start to feel love for them, it's this external experience, right? And all of a sudden you're starting to feel some sort of love inside of you, but you are believing that it's because of this person, and you are seeing the love externally, and then you're throwing this internal love out onto somebody else. And then there's this expectation and attachment to the other person to make sure that this internal love that's always been yours, it's never been theirs, stays. And now you need them to do certain things, show up certain ways, be certain ways, so that that love that's always just been your love stays lit, stays ignited. So it's very conditional. It's an unconscious conditional love that many of us find ourselves in relationships. So what's happening to a lot of us right now is that we have gone so deeply within ourselves. We have done so much of this internal work even more than what has been done in previous years. There is something deeper happening with humanity and relationships on an energetic level because of the vibration of the planet and the vibration of the human. It's not just, oh, I love myself and now I'm going to find a partner that loves me too. No, 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 no. There is this deeper awareness that's going to start to happen to so many of you where your heart is going to open so deeply because of a connection that you have with someone else, and not this like romantic, like, "Ah, the pearly gates of heaven have opened and the endorphins are racing and, serotonin, all this stuff's going crazy. And like, you're just like, whatever, not serotonin, but whatever that, that chemical is that's released when you're in love. That's not necessarily going to happen. Okay. When you become much more energetic, okay, just because you love yourself doesn't mean that you are becoming more energetic. Just means you're learning how to love yourself. Big deal. When you become more energetic, you are in your body. When somebody shows up that is inviting you deeper into yourself, you will find your heart opening for yourself first in ways that you never thought possible, in order for you to continue to allow this love that's showing up in your life. But it's always about you. It's always, this love is always redirected inside of you first. It's like this, which is going to require you to see everything within you, even if you already thought that you loved yourself unconditionally. Bullshit. You don't. Sorry, you don't. Next. So the more that you can watch this happen when somebody comes into your life, giving you the opportunity of like, hey, go deeper in with yourself. They're not saying this out loud. They don't know they're doing this, but you have the awareness because you're energetic. So you're realizing, oh my God, I have to be all of me right now. I just have to. I have to speak my truth. I have to look at the ways that I hide from people or pretend, or I don't say certain things because I don't want to be misunderstood. How many times have you gotten into a relationship and not been all of you for years? And then all of a sudden, or the other person hasn't. And you're like, who the fuck is this? This didn't show up 6 months ago. That's because we are not energetic humans. We are conditioned, traumatized humans. When we feel love, we say to ourselves, holy shit, I don't want this feeling to go away. We don't realize that it's actually ourselves opening us deeper into our own love. We think it's this other person. And then we do everything we can to make sure that we keep feeling this feeling by feeding this person whatever it is that they need in order to continue to love us. And we think that this is just this beautiful, healthy love. What is going to be required of you as you become more energetic and you start moving into relationships more and more, even if you're already in a relationship, this is going to happen. You are going to be required to be more vulnerable, required to be more raw, required to be more you, not from a defensive state or stance, not from a victim stance, but from a holy shit, this is who I am. Not from playing games, not from responding from trauma, not from doing all the old programmed ways that you've done it in the past, but doing it brand new from an energetic space where you're constantly leaning into that heart. The heart is opening. And when you start opening that more and more, you start realizing there is so much in there within you to be experienced. And you start becoming so free. You start realizing how free you actually are. And if this individual stays around and experiences this with you, great. And if this individual leaves, the pain will be there because they leave, but it doesn't close this heart down when you become energetic. You know how everyone says, like, there's this knowingness of like, my heart closed. I closed my heart off once I had my heart break. That's because unconsciously we were attached to this idea that this person opened our heart. This person is what allowed us to feel love. It was all about this person giving it to us. And so when this person, or allowing us to feel it, and so when this person went away, we didn't know how to keep that heart open. We didn't know it was right here the whole time. You can still feel immense heartache and pain and know that that heart is still open, that there is still so much love right here. It doesn't need to close. It doesn't need to shut down. It's an energetic experience. And one of the things I was realizing is the whole purpose of being in this human experience. I mean, there's so many reasons that we're here, so many reasons. Obviously, to shift an entire human collective. But one of the greatest gifts of relationship is to show us where our deepest love lies, right? Right here in our own physical bodies. It's like we meet someone and then they say, "Hey, I got a key for you." And you're like, "What?" They hand you the key and you open it and it's like floodgates of your own deep love for self comes in. Which doesn't look like, "Oh my god, roses and rainbows and," no, it means, "Holy shit, look at how I pretend to do dot, dot, dot. I pretend to feel dot, dot, dot. I wanna look presentable to this person. I wanna sound this way." Like, it's good. That's what opening your heart does. It makes you be vulnerable, and what is vulnerability? Being all of you. And how do you be all of you? You recognize when you're not. You recognize all the little ways that you are not being all of you. And why are we not all of us? Because we don't feel like we will be accepted. We just don't. And why do we feel that way? Because at some point in a previous chapter of our book in this lifetime, we weren't. We were told it's not okay to feel certain things. It's not okay to talk a certain way. It's not okay to do a certain thing. It's not okay to express a certain way. Little ways we have been shut down throughout our lifetime. Ways that can be so subtle and such deep programming that we don't even realize. And so the more that we are evolving into the energetic human, it is inevitable you have to show up in absolute raw authentic vulnerability, and that is not through an aggressive state of, you know, it's vulnerability is humility. It's being able to humbly express yourself without the attachment of somebody else being responsible for it or being the cause of it or any of that. It's a very sovereign state where you are separate from the individual that you believe may or may not be causing this to arise. They're triggering me. I need to tell you my truth because dot dot dot. That's a very aggressive um kind of victim way of being vulnerable. Vulnerability as an energetic human is simply just expressing yourself in yourself because it's you, without an attachment of how somebody receives it or what they do with it or their reaction or response to it. That when you start living from that state, especially in relationship, miracles will unravel. When you start paying attention to even the most enlightened, awakened humans can get caught in the trap when it comes to relationship. When you start to pay attention to, because relationships are the greatest gift that we have, right? They are what brings us so deeply into ourselves. They're our greatest gift. But if you are in any tiny way holding some sort of expectation that the other person is going to provide certain states of being, certain emotions, certain whatever it is, then you're missing what it means to practice this energetic human state that you're being asked to practice in all your relationships, right? They're not responsible for how you feel. They're not responsible for making you feel certain ways. If they come into your life and happiness is expanded, if they come into your life and joy is expanded, that's a great gift they're giving you. But if you find yourself attaching to it so that you can feel happiness, or so you can feel joy, or so you can feel free, or so you can feel certain ways, you want to pay attention to that. Because all they were designed to do was show you what you have inside of you, consciously or unconsciously, most likely unconsciously. Every relationship that comes in is an opportunity to be able to see the world of energy within you. And then you start being in the world in relationship, friends or romantic partners, it doesn't matter. You start being in the world in relationship, sovereign, free, able to show up and be you, all of you, no matter what, through a very vulnerable, raw state, energetically, which is what's going to be required of you. What do you feel like saying right now? What do you need to say? How do you need to express yourself from an energetic feeling state? And you are detached from the reaction you may get that typically holds us back from actually being all of who we are, because many times in our life we have not been accepted. The more you become an energetic human, the less you need to be accepted. You just don't need to be accepted. You are and the crazy thing about becoming more of an energetic human is you start recognizing how much trauma you may hold by needing to be accepted. And so you don't want to go around pretending that you don't need to be accepted. You know, we have to get so raw and so vulnerable and so okay with the fact that, yeah, I want to be accepted. Yeah, you do. Of course you do. That's how we were raised. This idea that, like, no, I don't need to be, I'm okay not being accepted. Bullshit. I call bullshit on it. You know, we need to stop trying to pretend that, we are certain ways. And we need to start getting really, really, really clear, especially all of you that are stepping into these new states of being, these energetic humans. You've got to be able to literally, like, diarrhea out, everything that is arising. Wow, I do feel insecure. Wow, you know what? I do care what people think. Wow, you know what? I did do that dot 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 so that I could be accepted, so that I could be seen. You know what? I did buy that car because when I drive it, I want people to look at me. Yeah, you did. Next. It doesn't make you a bad human, a less this, a less that, a low vibration, it's the human experience. Yes. Bravo. And that's the freedom that happens when you start to just express what is. And we stop pretending to be anything other than what is, because we are none of it. We're none of it. And the more that you or anybody else in your life pretends to be something, ignores what simply is denying the opportunity of becoming a deeper and deeper energetic human, which allows you to experience this world in miraculous ways. Miraculous ways. We are multidimensional. We are multi-layered. There are so many aspects to each of us. Like, every single one of you listening to this, you have so many facets of who you are. And we live on a planet that likes to pigeonhole, box people in, right? tell you that if you're this, then you show up this way. If you're this, then you show up this way. And that means you can't show up in other ways, or you can't present yourself in other ways, you know. And if you're a professional, this type of person, then you've got to look like this, and we do that. We don't even realize it. It's very unconscious. And yet, maybe the professional athlete, he or she is designed to be in this very strict way in the world. He or she has to present themselves in this very strict program, special way, so that everybody sees them as that professional athlete. And meanwhile, they're having all kinds of issues, and they're this and they're that. But God forbid we should show every facet of who we are. If we show every facet of who we are to the world, then there is this idea, right, that we will not be accepted in the same way. We won't be seen in the same way. It's bullshit. It's deep, deep programming, and it's a deep state of disempowerment. If we were just simply allowed to show up as we are, and we really just diarrheaed everything out of our mouths, do you know how free we would feel? Do you know how empowered you would feel? Do you realize that you would be doing nothing that didn't feel right? Nothing. Silencing anything puts us into a disempowered state, keeps us in a restrictive state, keeps us having stress and anxiety and worry. The more you silence yourself, the more you're going to feel stress, anxiety, worry, fear, all of it. All the things you don't want to feel, you'll continue to feel because you're silencing yourself. You're silencing yourself because of, your mom will say this, or your dad will say this, or your in-laws will think this. Fuck it. Practice diarying from the mouth who you are, what you think, what you feel, what you need, what you don't need, how insecure you are, how unworthy you are. Free yourself. Go in, lean in. You're in a relationship and it is rocky. Diarrhea everything you're feeling, not blaming the other person, not saying it's because of you that I haven't been able to speak my truth. Do not do that. You take full responsibility for how you've been showing up, but let's practice diarrhea from the mouth by taking absolute full responsibility. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is how I feel when I'm with you. This is, but not, this is very, very important, because a lot of people will be like, I am doing that. On an energetic level, are you doing it from an empowered state and a sovereign state, that this is mine and only mine, and I'm not doing this to change you? And I'm not doing this because I want to attach to something or control something. I'm doing this because simply I need to just be me. I need to just be me. There's no strings attached to anything outside of me by me doing this. Pay attention to that. This is very subtle, but very important. When you start diarrheaing from the mouth, just being all of you, leaning into your heart, leaning into every little crevice of you that wants to be expressed, which is becoming the energetic human. When you do it, first of all, it will never be mean, and it will never berate somebody or belittle somebody. It will simply be you expressing you, your wants, your needs, your desires, your thoughts, your feelings, whatever. It will feel very much in your field, in your space. And there will be no attachment to changing the other person or getting the other person to see your way or trying to manipulate or control any of it. It is simply an absolute state of freedom where you are just being you. I am afraid that if I continue to share myself with you, you're going to walk away. Or I really, really miss you. I thought about you every day. Or, hey, I am so sorry for what I said. I was trying to stay strong, and, I don't know, whatever it is. The vulnerability and the diarrheaing from the mouth is so essential in our evolution. And most of us are going to feel most of these kind of crunchy moments in relationship, friends, family, coworkers, lovers. And the more we can realize that we are not here to change somebody in order for us to feel better, the more we will be able to open our hearts and speak our truth, which the truth of you is energetic. It's your energy. And it starts by you simply allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to just feel. Giving yourself permission all day long to just feel what you're feeling. Pay attention throughout your day how you may judge certain things that are simply just arising in you. Oh, I want to judge this person. Give yourself permission. Don't say, I shouldn't judge, right? Judging is wrong. Just observe. I just judged. Next. I just got angry at this person. Okay. That the non-attachment is you simply observing yourself as you're in it. So there's a little I, that's the Lori that thinks that she is the anger when she's in it. She's in that anger. And there's the larger I, the observer, that's watching the little I. And that observer is like, wow, Lori, look, you're in anger. Wow, Lori, look, you just judged somebody. Wow, Lori, look, you're afraid of going in there. Wow, Lori, look. That's what you need to start doing. There's the little I attaching to all of it, thinking that it is these experiences, wanting to change it, labeling it good and bad. I shouldn't feel this. Fuck off with all of the I shouldn'ts and I shoulds of feeling anything. If you are still telling yourself, I shouldn't feel this or I should feel this, please do yourself a favor. Stop saying that. Stop. You can't help what is arising in this energetic world. You can't ignore and deny and pretend that you are not in this massively chaotic energetic world. That's like you standing in a big cloud and you're like, I don't want to feel the dew. Bitch, you're in a cloud that is made of dew. How in the hell are you not going to feel it? You are in a world full of emotion, which is energy. There is no such thing as should and shouldn't feel. There is simply just feeling. Just feeling. How often throughout your day are you judging what you're feeling, telling yourself you should or shouldn't, and trying to change it? And I would encourage you, I would challenge you to start simply allowing yourself to feel everything and giving yourself permission to feel everything and observing every single thing you're feeling. I teach this all the time. It's like my biggest teaching, I think. The superpower of feeling, because it is everything. You can't miss anything. You can't miss what's next for you. You can't, the choices that you make, you won't miss the choice that's to be made because you are in your body feeling everything. So you will know the choice when the choice arises, and you will know when there isn't a choice yet, and you will feel the frustration of not having the choice. You will feel the uncomfortableness of not knowing what to do. You will feel the crunchiness of the fact that you made a plan a week from now, that day has come and you don't feel like doing it. You'll feel the desire and need to stop making plans all the time. That's becoming more of an energetic human, right? You're going to start to feel this experience of no longer doing it the way everybody else does it, right? And what does that feel like? And oh my God, what are people going to think? And then you're going to realize you have insecurity and doubt, and you're going to start realizing that you have to trust something bigger than yourself that you can't see physically, and you're losing your mind because you don't exactly know how to trust something that isn't even there, but you're so energetic now and you're in your body. You're like, I got to just do this. And everyone's around you like, you've lost your mind. Why are you doing that? And you're like, because I feel it. I just know it. And they're like, you're crazy, right? These are the things that start happening the more you become energetic, the energetic human. And so the more raw and vulnerable and diarrheaing from the mouth you and who you are and how you're living in this world, the easier it's going to be to get through this. The easier it will be. And the catch to all of this, the gift to all, I mean, there's so many gifts, but one of them is you start accepting yourself more and more, even more, and then you accept others. And the true gift is that we start accepting others, right? We stop trying to make others see it our way. We stop trying to um, run from people that are very different than us, that have different ideas and different beliefs and different ways of being. And we start learning how to come together as energetic humans walking a planet with very unique expressions. Okay, I think that's it. I think the sermon's over. The fuck just happened? Um, yeah. I feel like we need a Q&A for that one, you know? We need a Q&A. Pay attention as you go about the day. Pay attention. Take me to Q&A church. Yeah, it's not easy, and it's easy to become who we are, who we've always been, which is energetic. We are a consciousness that is held in a physical body, and we are realigning and reconnecting with the energetic world, which sees beyond the physical, while we stand in the physical world. And so we are learning how to be in much different ways energetically. And so the light switches turn on, the electricity turns on. You see and feel and hear so much more within yourself and with others. You will live in very different and new ways. That's the evolution. Don't run from the uncomfortable. Don't run from the crunchy. Don't run from the pain. Don't run from the depression. Don't run from the sadness. Don't run from the tiredness. Don't run from anything that's arising. Don't try to change it. That's such an inverted matrix way of being. Meaning, the more that we are programmed to run and change and fix what we are in, we will constantly be running and changing and fixing what simply just is. And that is a lot of energy we are wasting. Our highest expression is to be in ease and grace and abundance and peace and flow and contentment. And how do you find those ways of being, states of being, which are inside of you? You get present with what is. How do you find contentment? You feel pain. How do you find joy and happiness? You feel sadness, you feel anxiety, you feel stress, you feel whatever it is that is arising. You get present with it knowing that you're not it. And it will allow you to drop into a state of flow where everything's moving and contentment is found, joy is found, happiness is found just by simply showing up for life and not trying to go find it. If you try to find joy and find happiness and find peace, you're running from what is, and what is what is actually bringing you there. What is showing up is bringing you to your natural states. I think my friend asked me, he said something to the effect of, just out of curiosity. He doesn't live this way, but he was just curious and he was asking, he's like, "So do you ever try to move yourself into a state of happiness or something like that?" He asked. I said, "No, never. I'm never trying to find happiness or joy or peace or contentment. And yet somehow I find myself in those states all the time. But guess what I also find myself in? Anger, frustration, stress, anxiety at times, irritability, rage, insecurity, doubt, unworthiness. So what? It's all in the cloud that you're standing in. And so we need to stop trying to find anything and start just showing up. Hi, Stephanie. Okay. All right, you guys. That's it. That is all she wrote. I am going to be doing my next live online event for my Patreon community is tomorrow at 4 p.m. California time. It's a group coaching call and really powerful. You have an opportunity to come on screen with me and ask me a question or two. And so if you've ever wanted to connect with me deeper and ask me personal specific questions, tomorrow's group coaching call is a great opportunity, and you get to join our community of thousands of members all over the world, which is always so great. And if you are part of our Patreon community, thank you for being a part of it. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. California time. If you're curious and want to join us tomorrow for the group coaching call and have an opportunity to ask me a question live, the link is down below. All right, you guys, I love you. I'll see you next Tuesday, unless I see you tomorrow in our live Patreon event. And until then, be very gentle with yourself, be even more energetic, feel even more, have more diarrhea from the mouth, and have more compassion for yourself and others. I'll see you next Tuesday. Mwah.